Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to try to show you guys how I experience video games as an autistic person and my sensory processing challenges that I face usually when I get anxious. So I'm using Trials of Osiris as kind of an example and to showcase to people who are regular subscribers of mine and know Destiny how you hear it versus how I hear it. The gameplay you're about to see is a mid-card game where I played off stream, so it wasn't particularly stressful while I was playing it. However, I'm going to use specific scenarios from this round by round, pick out some gameplay. I'm going to show you how you see it and hear it, hopefully, on the normal recording scale. And then I'm going to show you and explain to you how that changes for me and why that changes for me. So it's a very interesting video to make for me. I just want to say, obviously, the noises and the things that I'm going to add and the things that I'm going to change aren't directly exactly how I hear and see things as it's happening, because there's no frame of reference for the things that I hear on the internet. But I'm going to try to add a specific sound and tell you what that sound is and, just try to explain it. So it's a little bit of a weird one for me to do. Now, I just want to say, this is my experience as an autistic person. There's many people who have vastly different processing challenges when it comes to all the senses. I'm going to mostly show you a little bit of my vision that I see and a lot of the audio that I hear. Vision and sight, that sense doesn't drastically change for me unless I'm super anxious, but mostly audio does. There's also other senses. One specific sense called interoception. Now, you have the 5 senses that we all know, but there's actually 2 other senses which are kind of come into the limelight recently in recent years. One of them is proprioception, which is like the awareness of your space around you. So, people might class you as clumsy, but there's an actual sense there. It's called proprioception. Look it up. I'll probably put it in the video description if you want to. But the other one is interoception. Now, interoception is the kind of awareness and feeling of your inside, which is, I'm kind of like generalizing it because there's a lot of intricacies that go through it. But for instance, when you get anxious, when you get stressed, when you're in that game clutching moment, your heartbeat might start to race and you feel it thumping against your chest, thump, thump, thump. Everyone gets that. Everyone understands that. However, for me, in those moments of like sensory challenges or sensory overload, interoception changes that for me. I still feel the thumps over and over again, but I also feel my heart contracting and enlarging within my body. I can feel it happening. I can also feel the blood being pumped from my chest out into, veins, arteries. Like I get this warm, liquidy feeling going pushed out as I'm feeling the heart obviously contracting and enlarging. And as I'm saying it right now, it sounds absolutely crazy, but I can't explain it any other way. Another thing too, like when you're watching a game or you're playing a game, your eyes are naturally moving around. So you look at the map, you look at what's in front of you, you look around, you look at your abilities, your ammo, you look at all that stuff. Your eyes naturally dart around and move around. I can actually feel my eyeballs turn as that's happening when I get to an anxious point. Like I can feel my eyes moving, and it's like, the only way I can kind of describe it's like a cogwheel turning. So it's like a dull grinding pain as it's going around. Now, because I've played games all my life and I've been a gamer all my life, I am used to these feelings. And I also now have healthy ways of managing what I feel after stream. So after stream, I get extremely drained because obviously my senses are all over the place. They've gone into overload. I'm on the verge of a meltdown. So there's very specific things that I have to do to control what's happening to me. Now, a lot of people don't see this on stream, but if I'm getting particularly anxious, I'll squeeze my hand like this as tight as I can, and I'll usually just do it off camera. So I'll be holding my controller and I'll just put my controller down and I'll do that to kind of refocus my brain and kind of dull what I'm feeling and experiencing so I can play the next round or I can play the next game. So those are a few of the things that I just wanted to explain. Now let's get into the gameplay specifically. So this is the second round of the game. Pretty straightforward. We just did a long first round, it wasn't particularly anxiety inducing, but it was a stretched out round. So I really wanted to get in, get the second round done, get 2-0 ahead, and just hopefully coast the rest of the game and win quite easily. However, didn't go to plan. So that was like the normal gameplay that most people would hear. For me, myself, this clip coming up, I knew I was losing the fight as I was charging in. I could see the distance we were at. I could see he was in a better position. I could see he was already aiming before I even thought about aiming. So what happened for me is my anxiety rises very quickly and the eyesight that I have becomes blurred, and the audio that I hear after I die is like a kind of pitchy sound, and then audio within the game gets louder, but it comes back pretty quickly because it is only the second round. But this is like, for me, like, oh, I let my team down type of situation. So it's that kind of anxiety. So this round started off well and very quickly took a bad turn. We lost this round and it was on me. I was the last alive and I should have done better. So here is the normal round.
Only one enemy is left. Stand alone. Do not give up. 1 minute left, my friend.
So once I miss my shotgun shot, I start to panic. And what that causes is a kind of loud rumbling as I'm playing. I know I'm going to kill him, but the chances are he's probably going to hit me, reduce my health. I know the other guy's alive behind me and I don't know which way he's facing. So I panic in that moment and it creates this kind of rumbling sound. And what I believe that is that even though I've got my headphones on, even though I'm listening to Destiny, I can hear the fans within my Xbox and my PC like a drill in the head type of situation because I'm in that state of panic. Once I chase down the guy and I start to shoot him and he's left with a minuscule bit of health, my audio that I hear goes through the roof because I'm in a position now where I can win this round for my team, but I have absolutely no idea where this guy is. I have to guess and hope that I guess right, which obviously in the clip I didn't guess right.
Only one enemy is left. Stand alone. Do not give up. 1 minute left, my friend. One minute left, my friend. Your ally is back in the fight. Only one enemy is left. Your ally is back in the fight. Seconds left.
So I included this round for two very specific moments. And this is kind of like the only time within this game that I would have experienced a slowdown in my sight. So when you get sensory overload, when you get a very quick change to your senses as an autistic person, you can actually see things in slow motion. So there's two parts of this round. First and foremost, when the enemy picks up the heavy ammo and he has a linear fusion rifle, and I know he has a clean shot through that door on myself and my teammates who are gathered around by that door, so I panic. What happens during this round, and did happen even while I was playing this off stream, is that all the audio shifted to where he was. So I was hyper aware of where he was and I could only hear it through one side of my head, as to speak. And then the second part where the slowdown happens is the hunter, I get past him and he jumps up into the air and I have to get this shot. I have to take this shot and kill him. So I have to do it correctly. I don't know whether seeing things in slow motion actually helps me in these situations, but it does happen. And I did get the kill. So very interesting round here. Two very different things happening within the same short period of time. And if I was on stream, like I said, and I'm trying to talk to chat and play competitively, if it's the lighthouse game, the last game, my anxiety would be absolutely through the roof.
One minute left, my friend. Your ally is back in the fight. Only one enemy is left. Your ally is back in the fight. 30 seconds left.
And this is kind of the last round that we'll talk about. And this was an interesting one because we had the advantage. We were winning the round. Let's say, you know, we look at it, there's 3 of us and 1 guy left remaining. So I'm flanking the guy and I feel like my teammates are closer to him than I thought they were. So I didn't really push him because I was worried that he was just going to kill me and get through the area where I was. So I dropped down below a ledge, but he chases me off and he kills me. And then I thought, oh, my teammate have got him, but they don't. They're not as close as I think they are. And he escapes them. So I start to panic because I know that's on me. My anxiety is through the roof because I allowed that to happen by just not engaging with him and trying to finish him. He then escapes and reses one of his teammates and I pop my super.
Left, my friend. Only one enemy is left. You are back in the fight. Opponent revived. Only one enemy is left.
So again, what happens here is the audio for me gets higher and the rumbling comes back and just an overwhelming amount of noise within inside of me because I'm panicking because I want to finish this. Once I pop my super, everything returns back to normal because I know realistically my super is going to kill them both.
Left, my friend. Only one enemy is left. You are back in the fight. Opponent revived. Only one enemy is left.
So if you take these small little moments in this one very basic game off stream with no stress and you take it into a streaming environment where people are watching you, where stress is at the highest level it can be, and let's say you're at the 7 win part of the card, you can imagine how all of my senses would be at that time. It would be an absolute nightmare, and it really is an absolute nightmare. Now, luckily, I've been gaming a long time, so I kind of get used to it. I've kind of built up a little bit of immunity to it. However, I have safe and healthy ways of dealing with those anxieties and stresses and challenges, but I have to do them off stream. I can't really do them on stream because I need a certain environment to be able to bring myself down, to be able to refocus. So when I went flawless for the first time and I started crying on stream, partly because of the reasons that I gave, but also massively due to how much my senses had overloaded during the entire time that I was playing, especially when I was very close to winning. It all just dawned on me and emotion just come flying out of me. Now, when I have meltdowns and overloads, I cry very quickly and a lot until I can kind of get myself back into a place of normality for myself. And I'll leave the clip at the end of this video that you can watch if you haven't seen me go flawless and cry on stream before. Now you can see it. But I wanted to kind of explain what I think and feel and experience as I'm doing live streams, as I'm playing. And I also just want to say, I know that people aren't going to believe me. They're going to call me a liar, say I'm over dramatic, oversensitive. This happens to everybody, not just you. I have heard it all before. Since I was diagnosed and I've worked with other autistic adults and heard their experiences, I know that I'm completely valid in what I'm saying. So I'm not looking for, critique or acceptance or sympathy or anything like that. All I'm doing with this video is showcasing how I experience things a little bit differently to yourself. And just for a little bit of food of thought, just before the flawless clip, imagine prior to my diagnosis when I was a lot younger, say I'm on public transport, a train, and I'm sitting there, even with headphones on, I can hear click-clacketing of the rails. I can hear branches snapping from where the train may be hitting them. I can hear the wind. I can hear leaves flying around. I can hear other people's headphones and what they're listening to. I can hear other people's conversations and what they're saying as if they were whispering it into my ear. I can hear even sometimes like the tick of somebody's watch as it's going like a couple of seats away from me. Now, if I'm in a particularly anxious space and this is all happening at once, what do you think might happen to me as a person? I will panic, I will get worried, I'll get stressed. And it's happened to me before where I've been going to a place and I get hit with all this overload and I would just get off public transport, go home, make an excuse. So try to think of something like having a full-time job and how difficult that can be for someone who is autistic or neurodivergent. Imagine full-time work, 8-hour shift, stressful day, terrible day, everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. And I know people who have worked jobs, you've experienced this. For yourself, you might be pissed off for the rest of the day, but usually you'll wake up the next day and you'll go to work. You might not be in a great mood, but you're able to cope because you have mechanisms within you that is just automatically there to help you with these situations. For myself in those situations, if it's a super anxiety day, it could take 3 weeks before I'm able to really focus on my life again. If it's a anxious day or whatever, it could take 2 or 3 days before I could properly leave my house or talk to people or work. So you can imagine how hard it is to hold down a job. Prior to my diagnosis and prior to really understanding all this stuff, I just pushed through. So I would work 8-10 hour shifts every single day, absolutely killing myself, exhausting myself, draining myself, and having all these overloads and not understanding why I was feeling stressed and upset and lonely and angry and fearful in every single moment of every single day. Over years and years of that building up, I became quite a bad person to be around, an unhealthy person to be around, and that is something that was unavoidable. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to cope. So yeah, it can be very stressful as well as awesome as well, because I hear music differently. I listen to music differently to most neurotypical people. I can hear audios within the song, like ad-libs and background noises and all the instruments and all the lyrics all at the same time simultaneously. Most people focus on one part of a song while they're listening to it, so there's upsides as well, but it can be very challenging, it can be very horrible, and I wanted to share what I go through when I'm gaming and streaming with you guys. Hopefully it was interesting. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Like button, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.
Fire team. Really we stood by you. Osiris left me in charge.
With everything that's been going on in my life as well. I'm trying to calm down.
The guardians of faith still follow rules in my arena. Your enemies will not be so kind.
It's so fucking stupid as well. Like, this shouldn't be getting me this emotional, but you know, having to pretty much give up gaming and give up YouTube because my mum got cancer again. That fucking hurt me because I was in a position where I really wanted to start doing this again, like full time properly. And I mean, of course my mum's cancer is more important than anything, and I would give up the fucking world to look after her. But when I kind of got the chance to stream again and have like some time to myself and actually fucking enjoy it, like, to get to this point now, oh my god, it means so much. Oh, fucking hell.